Welcome to a new episode of After School with Mr. Van Huss. Today we're going to take a trip all the way across the pond over to Australia and chat with the 2024 Gold Coast Music Awards Breakout Artist of the Year. I'm very happy to welcome to the show my friend, singer-songwriter Chloe Styler. Welcome to After School with Mr. Van Huss. I'm here today with my friend Chloe Styler. Chloe, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. What time is it over in Australia right now?
It's 7:30 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Oh wow, I got you so late. And here it's 4:30 in the afternoon on Friday afternoon. I was thinking you guys were ahead of us. I had to stop and think where the international date line was and oh yeah, they're
Yeah, I
ahead.
know. It's easy to just Google it. I find if I go, what time is it in Nashville? If it's 7:30 a.m. in Queensland, I get the answer and I don't have to worry about it.
That's a good way to do it. Thanks for
Yeah.
taking the time to talk to me. I know you played the CMA Spotlight stage. Was it 2 years ago that you played, I think?
Yeah, 2 years ago, that's where we met.
Yeah, so we met there, and I've tried to kind of follow your career since then, and love to see what you're doing. And I think, did you just get some big news
I
today?
did just get big
Because I
news.
just saw this right before I got on here. It said the Big 615 on the Big 20 Country Countdown with Stormy Warren. Your name Global Ones to Watch for the week.
That's
That's
so cool,
incredible.
right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. That is so cool. I got the message really late last night, and I just couldn't stop smiling. That's just like one of those pinch me moments that I'm independent, I'm self-managed, and I don't have even a publicist in the States. So to be able to get something like that is really, really cool.
Well, that's incredible. And I saw that, like I said, just a few minutes ago, and I was like, oh, this is so great. We timed this interview perfectly.
We
That's
did.
where you can talk about it.
It's like we knew it.
It's like we were just planning.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about your career. I got to hear you at the Spotlight stage a couple of years back, and you're a phenomenal artist, great singer, great songwriter, great stage presence, and you're somebody that definitely got my attention. And I'm like, oh, I want to watch her because it's going to be good stuff. What influenced you to do what you do?
To do what I do is just I'm following my passion and what I feel like I've been put here to do. So I think it's really important if you have the means and you can chase that dream for as long as you can, do it and pay tribute and respect to your hopes and dreams. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But who influenced me as like musicians would be Fleetwood Mac and Casey Musgraves and yeah, I suppose like I grew up a lot listening to the artists my parents really liked. So Elton John, the Eagles, America, etc. And then when it came time for me to start writing songs like Taylor Swift and yeah, Casey Musgraves were huge influences of mine. So I just kind of put it all together and created my own sound and now I'm yeah, doing it.
Excellent. So when do you think you first realized that you wanted to be a singer, you wanted to be a songwriter?
I remember I was about 15 and I was gifted a guitar for my 13th birthday. And that's still the guitar. That's the guitar you saw on stage at CMA Fest. I still play with that. I still write on it. And I'm self-taught. So I just YouTubed how to play G major chord. And that was it. And then I just kept going and I still YouTube how to play bar chords because I'm not very good at those. But yeah, I remember about 2 years in, I could actually string chords together and create sound. And then I started writing my own songs and I just loved it. I just got the bug and I thought, this is what I want to do. This is how I can make a difference in the world because I just have this desire to be able to connect with people and make an impact in some capacity and change someone's life for the better. And if I can do that with writing songs, great. Like I'm doing everything I've ever wanted. So yeah, that's probably about the time. And then I've just stuck with it.
That's incredible. I think, it's so great, like technology these days.
Yeah.
I took guitar lessons when I was a kid, when I was like 9. And I wish I would have had ways of looking up chords for songs or, seeing like how somebody played some lead lick on YouTube or something. And That's awesome that you've done that and taken advantage of that because that's something that this generation had that, us old Generation X people, we didn't have it, so it's a
Yeah,
cool thing.
it is
Very
so
cool.
cool. Yeah,
So
and sent my parents a lot of money.
I'd say so, most definitely.
Yeah.
What was high school like for you and like what further education? And I should probably ask, just so my students know too, is high school in Australia like high school is in the States, or are there differences or?
I believe it's the same. We just use different words. So, like high school, it would be called senior school
Hmm.
at in Australia. So in senior school, I did all the extracurriculars. So I was in all the choirs, the bands. I played the saxophone in like big bands. So I wasn't just this country singer from the get go. I did all the lessons and the learnings and the grades and the exams. I was a bit of a nerd, and there's no shame in that. Like I just loved learning and absorbing as much as I could. I was in like the musical theaters. I was just doing everything I could. Barely any sport though. I wasn't very good at that, so I just kind of I picked my battles, and that wasn't one of them. Then I graduated from grade 12, which would be like I'm a senior, and then I went to university, we call it, but college. And I studied two undergrad degrees, a Bachelor of Business Management, majoring in marketing, and a Bachelor of Journalism. I will say I did start 6 months at a music degree, doing a Bachelor of Music, but I just didn't feel like I needed to stick with it to do music. And so I just wanted a bit more of a challenge and something that could support me with my music as I was moving along in the career. And marketing helps all the time. Every day I'm using that degree. Journalism, you and I can have a conversation. I know how to write a press release, etc. So everything does have its purpose. And then I graduated, I got my undergrads. I took a few years off, and then COVID hit and I got a bit bored. So I went back to college and I started a master's degree in primary teaching. And that didn't actually last, but that's okay. I've been accepting the fact that not everything happens, and perfectionism isn't real and you can't do everything. But I loved the degree. I just didn't have time for everything. And that's my education experience in a nutshell.
I got to. We actually have some similarities because like the my undergrad degree that I got before I went back to be a teacher was public relations, and I had like a recording industry emphasis. So it was right there in the School of Journalism.
Yeah.
I was a marketing minor. That kind of stuff, and I tell my students this all the time. Those kind of degrees you can use in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Because even as a teacher, I use public relations and marketing all the time.
All the
It's
time.
something that I constantly fall back on.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely. I'm very
hopefully that's
grateful.
definitely something that will help you along.
Yeah, I think so. And as I mentioned quickly before, I'm self-managed and I'm independent. So that's a lot of work. I wear a lot of hats and I do a lot of jobs, which I enjoy because I love controlling things. But at least I have the degrees I can actually draw knowledge from.
Well, that's very, very cool. Was there a teacher along the way or a professor or anything that kind of stood out to you that was like a mentor to you or anything?
Yes, so in junior school or elementary school, it started early. I had a teacher called Mrs. Rawlings, and she was my grade 2 and my grade 6 teacher just before I went to high school. And she just made me know, like, she helped me believe that I could do anything. And I just never felt like any task was too big or scary, and any dream was too out of reach. I just always felt like whatever I dreamt I could do. And that is amazing in a school environment to be able to fully like release yourself to your dreams and just go for it. So she was in my elementary school, and in my high school, it would have been one of my music teachers, probably Mrs. McMahon. She was a teacher of mine. I did normal music and then I did extension music in my senior year. So I was doing music every day, and just to have someone that understood and just kept that dream alive as well. Because at school, it can feel like, oh my goodness, I need to go and be a lawyer or a doctor or this amazing. And every job out there is important. It has its, like, every career has its purpose, and there's people for every career. But like, being a lawyer wasn't for me. I don't like confrontation. I just can't do that. But like, there's all those pressures and expectations on high school students to really go and be something. And a musician wasn't being something to some of the teachers, but to Mrs. McMahon it was. So that really helped.
That's so great. It's awesome to have a mentor like that that will push you along into like stuff that you want to do.
Yes.
And there's so many good lessons right there that you touched on and stuff. I didn't figure out I wanted to be a teacher until I was like 30. So,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to have everything figured out by the time you're like 18, 19 years old, but that's pushed here a lot too. It's like, oh, you have to have your whole plan laid out. And I tell kids all the
Oh,
time, it's okay, you don't
you don't. And
figure
it
it out.
actually, we're all still figuring it out. My dad's still figuring it out. No one actually knows what they're doing.
Absolutely. That is totally true. Um, you've got the ear of some high school kids, and besides what we just said, is there one life lesson besides, you can figure it out over time? Is there
Yeah.
one life lesson that you would pass along to high school kids that you think you've learned in your life and career?
Yes, absolutely. The first thing that comes to mind is a saying my dad always said to my sister and I growing up. And in my accent, it's going to be hard. So I'll say it how you guys would say it. There is no such thing as can't, or there is no such thing as can't. So CAN apostrophe T. And that has stuck with me whenever I get the self doubt, or maybe I'm not good enough, maybe this isn't going to happen for me. Well, there's no such thing as can't, so why can't I do it? And
That's
that's
very,
that.
very good
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
And I think if my memory serves me right, your dad was with you when you came over to play the spotlight stage that time,
Yes,
wasn't
you probably met him. He was so proud. He only flew over for 5 days. He was not even there a week, but he didn't want to miss it. So I love my parents so much, and they're so supportive, which I just feel so grateful for.
he? That is excellent. So, where can anybody watching, where can they find Chloe Styler?
Well, if anyone's on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, I know no one really uses Facebook anymore, but we all still have it.
I still do. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just there, Chloe Styler, ER Styler. That is one thing I realize I have to really enunciate when I'm in the States is Styler, not Styler. And Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever, literally wherever you go and stream music or like engage with content creators, that's where I am.
All right. And if anybody listen, when's the 615 thing going to be
It's
on? Is it?
it's this current weekend happening.
Okay.
So, but I believe they're doing replays, and I'll put it all on my socials as well. I'm going to screen record and put it up.
Very, very cool. Well, I look forward to like hearing that and always interested in any new music you're putting out there. And thanks for sitting down with me. And I hope our paths cross again somewhere soon.
Maybe when I come to the States for a little bit longer, I can come in and I can see everyone in class. Maybe we do something like
That
that.
would be so great. They would love
Yeah,
that.
I'd love it.
Well, Chloe, thanks for taking the time to talk to me, and thanks for staying after school with Mr. Van Huss.
Thank you.